clean.
I'm still doing my videos from the front of the iPhone. Can't even go sideways. You want to talk about no editing? What I've done, bro, with no editing skills is actually amazing.
It's wild, right?
It is. Yeah. But all I have is content. And you know what? People are like, oh, posting time is, bro, content is king. If you're the real fucking deal, then you got the content. It doesn't matter when you post what you do. It doesn't. If you've got the real shit like I do.
Well, it's a mixture. It's a mixture of times to post sometimes, but in the beginning, just to get some awareness, it's about just throwing content out there, throwing shit at the wall, and eventually something's going to stick. That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
And then the important part about it is just keeping consistent. So like when I started the TikTok, I started guns fucking blazing. I just went a video a day, clips up to date. Yeah. Every comment I got, I made sure that I was commenting back to people. I was so integrated into making sure that I made it a platform and a space where people could comment on the podcast clips, and then I would interact with them, and they can interact with each other, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you put some sensational clips up, like Andre Ferguson yelling at people and this and that, that him on the podcast going crazy. But that type of shit works because that, unfortunately and fortunately, triggers some emotions because we're human creatures that are watching it. And then they start to comment and share and fuck this person or fuck that.
I look at the stats.
Get up on that mic.
Now I'm looking at the analytics of stuff. Now that I'm posting and spending some money, just practicing with social media. So I got the average watch time. And now you start looking at, that first 1 or 2 seconds. People are responding like 100 times more to negativity than this is the way of the world. This is what the watch time is. It's literally the percentage is like double positivity. So people are responding to something negative. So I'm better out saying you're a pussy than being like, I can help you.
Yeah.
Literally times 10.
Yeah, you could talk to me for an hour and a half on the podcast, give amazing tips, amazing information that people can digest and not only make their lives better, but be a better human being in civilization and society. But that won't get as many views as if you spike that rain can on the desk, tell me to fuck myself and leave the podcast, and I put that 4-second clip up. You'd be like, what happened?
I did.
It's crazy, man. It's just it's insane what feeds the emotion of humans nowadays.
Well, it's just saying how jaded we are. Even watching and scrolling, like I said, I don't consume content anymore. I have so much that I put out there that I'm just reacting. My stuff is just reactive to what I'm doing, which is awesome because you're learning so much. I've been on Instagram for 12 hours a day at least. I haven't watched or seen anything. Yep. And it's funny, people still send me like clips. I'm like, would you think I'm going to open up a DM of something that you thought was funny on Instagram an hour ago? You know what I mean? Like, but this is the way, people are just sitting there consuming and basically slowly dying.
Well, it's tough. You get caught in that rut, and everybody gets caught in it until you take the conscious decision to say, I can't do it anymore. Yeah. And even then, I mean, I've taken that. I think I mentioned it to you. I've taken that stance and tried to not allow my mind to just get morphed and mushed up from fucking just consistent consumption of just bullshit, because that's what happens. When I did a Tony Robbins seminar, I did like an online Tony Robbins seminar. Yeah, it was good. It was good, and I think there's a lot of good stuff in it. I think there's a lot of bullshit and a lot of fluff. Like I sit there and I watch, and there's a lot of people that are really just emotionally upset, and they look at Tony and these motivational speakers as saving grace, as if I follow everything that this person says and I do every one of their seminars, I'm gonna be like them, and it's not the case. So you have to have like some realization and expectations of like what's actually gonna come out of it.
I love seeing people come away from the seminars though, they're all fucking gassed up.
Gassed up for months, and I was too, man. Yeah. But then I started looking at it. I'm just like, if I'm gonna do everything that Tony expects me to do every single morning, if I'm gonna do everything Andrew Huberman expects me to do every morning, everything, all these guys, I mean, they all have great points on how to better your life and to stay on a great path of development and upgrading yourself. But like, I won't have any fucking time to do anything else if I do everybody's morning routines.
You got to figure out your own thing. You figure out what works for you. And I like Huberman. He was a big part of facilitating some of the stuff that I was doing. Where I started my. Let me get into this. Let me position this right.
Take your time. There's no rush.
So, I don't know if I want to tell you. Start with the carnivore space. So I'll tell you. I'll give you a rundown of this year. You know me from a long time. I'm extremely passionate with everything I do, whether it's bodybuilding, beach cleanups, everything I've done. And the crazy part is, and it's cool to say, is I've failed at everything. I have failed at everything except maybe being a dog owner and a loving person and something compassionate. Other than that, I have tried everything, and I go into it with 110% passion, and usually it blows up in my face and doesn't work. And the best part about that is it's brought me to right now. So I've failed at everything. And I say that with like a shit-eating grin on my face, because had I been mildly successful at any of those little things I wanted to be successful at, That's what I've been doing, and I would have made my money. I would have never made it to this phase of my life, and it literally just happened this year, and I had to completely break. I thought I was broken, and I wasn't. I was nowhere near. I thought I was broken. I had to break spiritually, emotionally, and it brought me to this kind of enlightenment where, like, you're either going to completely perish really fast, from depression, or you're gonna change this. And thankfully, I went the opposite direction, you know. So I'll start with the space that I'm in with nutrition and business right now, and kind of what led me to where I am today. Not just living abroad, but what I'm, like, quote unquote selling, but what I believe in, what saved my life that now I'm sharing with other people. And it's kind of funny of being like being a career personal trainer since 1995, when this industry pretty much started. I was like one of the first guys in, and I didn't get into it for the passion of helping people. I literally was 17 years old in my high school gym, powerhouse gym in Miller Place, and I see some guy I don't know what this is yet. I was into working out, I was a big meathead, always into it, you know, played college football, but I'm watching this guy run around the gym with all these hot women. And I'm like, what do you do? Like, what is this? This is 1995. This is literally when the industry started. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, he's like, I'm a personal trainer. He had the big old cheesy muscle shirt on. And he was just a good looking kind of skinny guy. I'm like, this guy, I've just seen him woman after women. I'm like, what does this guy do? And he's like, I'm a personal trainer. I was certified within like 3 days. I was like, you make $60 an hour? And again, that was a thing. So I got into it right up from money from the jump. And I got into it, and then I got stuck in it, and that was always to all the successful people, it was always this weakness. Like, well, the problem is you're getting that good money per hour. What about the long term? What about the 401? You know, all these things. What about the health insurance? All that. I spent decades being judged by myself and by other people because I'm in this limited, trading dollars for hours, but I'm really good at it. So it took a long, long time, basically, even to the point where, you know, I'm a loser. You know, you're a bartender, you're a personal trainer, you're this, you're working dollars per hour. So I'm judged by myself, or really by society. Like, when are you going to get a real job, right? When are you going to get a real job? When are you going to get some money? And everybody's giving me advice. And now here at 46 years old, today, these same people that were giving me advice are completely in love with what I'm doing. And it's just like the people that are truly my believers and the wealthy, happy people wish that they had what I had now. And I had to go this entire time not listening to anybody and being judged by all these people to come into my own space, which is actually pretty cool. So currently, what I'm doing, I am living in Colombia, living abroad, absolutely love it.
And prior to this, you were in Costa Rica.
I was in Costa Rica for 2 years. Actually, beautiful place. I left this country right before the election, right before Trump became president, right around Black Lives Matter. That was a big emotional piece for me. That prompted me to leave the country much earlier than I thought I was going to do. From a cultural standpoint, I couldn't believe where we were at. So I left the country good. And it wasn't like, I hate the country. I was ready for something different. I didn't have the house, didn't have the kids. I don't understand if people are making all this money, but they're not happy. So this really isn't for me. So I went into I went into the mountains of Costa Rica. I didn't do the tourist thing. I got a quad and just ripped through it. And I just played my own life, and I really loved it. Then I got extremely sick. Some people know I got sick. I contracted MRSA. I spent 6 months in the hospital. Dead. I was declared dead 3 times. This is less than 2 years ago, by the way. This has all happened less than 2 years ago.
I remember that. If you can elaborate on that, what exactly happened?
Well, I was feeling sick one day. This is in Costa Rica. I hate when people say this, but I have a high pain threshold, and I do. I was running around the jungle on my quad. I'm extremely active. I am an athlete. I'm an athlete of life. I can't even ride a bicycle without going 110%, doing tricks and shit. It's my nature. It's how I'm wired. So I was feeling kind of ill. A couple days went by. I'm like, I'm dying. I'm literally dying. I had pancreatitis twice in my life. That's a whole nother thing. I was like, I hope this is hoping this is pancreatitis, because then I could just fast it out. I'll be fine. So I went to some doctors down there. They're like, yo, you're nuts, man. Like, you're probably dying. I'm like, no, I just got to fast it. I was just trying to thug it out. Doing anything really not to come back to the States. Not for any other reason than I was happy. I was happy there. So it turns out I went a couple more days, and I couldn't move. I'd come home. I couldn't walk my dog. I sat out on a porch in Costa Rica, crying. I gave my dog my last meal because I was dying. I was dead, checked out. thank God a friend came over that night. I went to 2 third world hospitals in San Jose, Costa Rica. And
what was that experience like?
It was horrible. It was straight out of a horror movie. That I couldn't communicate. My Spanish kind of sucks. I know more than people realize, but once I get around some English, that's all I talk. But I finally went to this hospital in San Jose, Costa Rica, and this one girl spoke a little bit of English. She goes, "Listen, right out of a movie. Like, I was paying money out of the MRI tube, cash in my pocket, whatever I had, because I'm dying." And this girl comes in. She goes, "Listen, we don't know what's wrong with you, but stop giving us your money. Go home. Go home and get some medical treatment, because you're going to need this money for treatment. We don't know what's wrong with you, but you're fucked up." Thankfully, I got an emergency flight home the next day. I was admitted into the hospital, and no doctors wanted to work on me because I had this infection. It was MRSA. MRSA, I had never heard of it, which is pretty wild considering the industry I'm. It's usually a little skin disease, little bacteria or infection, and it's usually very treatable. For me, it got into my system, started attacking all my organs and killing.
Is it kind of like a ringworm?
Yeah, it's I'm not going to say a fungus. It's an infection. It's a blood infection.
Okay.
But usually it's topical. You cure it. Now, doctors were asking me, like, "Oh, were you cut up?" Or what? I was like, "I've been riding a quad in the middle of the jungle. Like, I have cuts on me all the time. Who knows?" Got into a BMX accident. I rip a BMX bike. That's a whole nother thing. So I always get cut and beat up and stuff. I'm extremely active. Couldn't figure out where it came from. Of course, because people are so skeptical. I was in good shape. Once I got to the doctors, I was in a coma for about 6 weeks, in and out. Nobody wanted to work on me. They had my parents come in. I forget the terminology. I really don't talk about this a lot. I try to block it out because I'm all about moving forward. But I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know really what was going on. They were going to cut my legs off. Really fucked up, really dramatic. But I knew the whole time when I was in and out of consciousness that I was going to be okay. I think the worst part, this is 6 months in the hospital during COVID, so you really couldn't have visitors the same way. And kind of the play on humanity, the craziest part about this, when I came out of the coma, I tell people, you want to find out who really messes with you, leave the country. See who supports that, especially at a time where things are volatile. But that being said, when I started coming out of the coma, see what's going on, I think the hardest thing for me was not being able to go to the bathroom on my own. It was really just so embarrassing. And each nurse that came in.
Deflating.
Each nurse that came on just getting younger and better looking each day. I'm like, to the point where I just wasn't going to the bathroom. It was so embarrassing. Meanwhile, I couldn't walk. I was dying. And all the doctors would say to me is, "Oh, you're lucky to be alive." And after like 2-3 months, I'm like, that's really getting old. So what happened is, backtracking, as soon as I got to the hospital, they just started, if you see, I had about 12 surgeries in the first 5 to 6 weeks. So what happened is I was so loaded up with infection and dying that they were just cutting me open, ripping this infection out, lasering me open, trying to save my life, but they were not paying attention to me orthopedically. Like, they didn't care. They're trying to save my life. So this is 2 months of just lasering me open, ripping me open. I have scars, just disgusting scars on my body. But that being said, I made it. I got through it. It was a tough period. Even now, there's stories. People are reminding me of things, and I just want to keep it. I just want to keep it moving forward. So when I got out of the hospital, again, I was in so much pain, and to the point where I was crying every single day of my life, and I didn't want to do it anymore. So I went to the surgeon, and again, the same thing. You're lucky to be lucky. I'm like, I don't feel lucky. You guys keep telling me I don't feel so lucky right now because I'm in miserable pain, and I'm a pretty positive guy. So it got to this point where the MRSA, now I'm going to be a lifelong injecting antibiotics. So I had this 3-foot cord, this ball, 2 times a day for an hour and a half. I forget the name of the antibiotic. Strongest antibiotic you can have. You're going to be on it the rest of your life. They had a wire into my heart where I had to come, let the ball drip, and inject this fluid into me for 3 hours a day. And this is my life. This is it for the rest of your life. And that sucked. And I was in pain. And I don't know which run-in it was with the doctor. I said, "I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this. Fuck this. I'm out of here. No therapy. I'm done." I moved back to Costa Rica. There was this personal thing for me where I had to get back to Costa Rica for myself. I had to prove to myself that I was going to be okay and I could heal myself. And I did. And I got down there and I was sick, but I was a broken man. I was in shambles. I was broken. Physically, I didn't have myself physically. I've always thrived off of being athletic and physical. And I didn't have all that. Even still, I could barely turn my head that much. I overcame that. I came down to Costa Rica. I got off all the meds. And that was it. I healed myself, and it's pretty wild.
How did you heal yourself? Like, what were the steps that you took?
I got away from the hospital and started going into the doctors. And this was early on, where like, "Hey, you're crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been told that my whole life. That's fine. I'm still going to make my moves." But telling me to live near the hospital just to wait to get sick and die again, I'm not going out like that. If I fly off a cliff on my quad in the middle of Costa Rica and I die from that, then that's one thing. That's poetic. That's how I'm supposed to go out. But getting sick and dying in the hospital waiting to die, I'm not going out like that. I went back to Costa Rica. I bought a quad, started ripping it, started throwing up every day. I said, I'm done with these antibiotics. I might die, but you know what? I was dead already. So what's the difference? Got off the antibiotics, completely fucking fine. So here I am, millions and millions and millions of dollars of treatment. You're going to be on this antibiotics the rest of your life. You just deal with it. Fucking 2 months later in Costa Rica, I'm ripping the quad completely.
Isn't that crazy? How
it's insane.
It's insane. I don't even think it goes towards negligence. I just think it goes towards, this is what we learned in a textbook, and that this is the only course of action for anything that we can imagine.
When we put all our faith into people, these guys told me for months, we don't know what's wrong with you. And again, of course it was, oh, well, what was I doing? So when I came back, again, the skeptics and people are so screwed up, the doctors are like, well, what was he shooting? He had to be doing intravenous drugs. Listen, I'm honest with everything. The last thing I'm doing is shooting drugs. I'm in Costa Rica ripping the quad, riding a bicycle, living my life. So again, because of skeptic, even when I came out of it for months, these doctors are waiting for me to tell them like I was like doing heroin or something. Like, no.
They're like waiting bedside. They're like, are you ready to let us know what actually happened?
Yeah, like I'm going to sit there and let you cut my legs off and not tell you what's going on. I'm dying, trust me. My parents are here watching me die. I have nothing to hide. I never had. And that's something that a lot of people can't really relate to. I'll talk about it. So there was that, and I got back down to Costa Rica, but I was a broken shell of a man, and things were not the same down there. And I slipped into severe depression. I didn't really know how bad, but the crazy part is I went down with money. When I was in the coma, this is an interesting play on humanity. When I was in the coma, my friend had set up a GoFundMe page. And this is kind of crazy, kind of how I work. When I came out of the coma, I started seeing all these donations. I'm like, wait a second. I have people that gave me $10,000. But you couldn't message me when I was in Costa Rica doing well to see how I was doing? But now that I'm sick and dying, I don't want your fucking money. And I was angry. Here I came out as I was supposed to be grateful that I have all the people who love me. And I'm fucking angry because I needed you when I was good. I needed a little, yo, Britt, hope you're doing good. But I didn't got none of that. I'm sick and dying. And this is just how we work. I'm sick and dying and you're giving me money. I don't want your money, bro. I want your love. I want you to be something that you're not. And unfortunately, and to keep it positive, but people are completely full of shit in a lot of aspects of life. And one of them's clientele. Their clients, oh, you're your friend. No, you're my client. We were cool when I had something to offer you, or when I was, bedside dying, when you could control the situation. And it really made me angry. It made me angry, and it just started this feeling of just anger. Like, well, what are people all about? So that being said, I got back down to Costa Rica. It wasn't working. The crazy part is I had money. I had like 50 grand on me, and I had no responsibilities, nothing, and I was completely depressed. I didn't know what to do with myself.
What do you think it was?
I was broken. I was physically, I wasn't a man. I didn't have that dominating thing. I've always been in shape, conquering. That's always been my MO. Is just, or how the world sees me, is just this physically dominating person, this athlete, this kind of like Spartan animal guy. And even now, I can barely turn my head. But I was broken, and I had no purpose, and all anybody could say to me, it was, oh, you're so lucky to be alive. It's such a miracle. I'm like, I don't feel any of that right now. And this is months and months and months. So in short, it just wasn't working anymore. I was trying to do tours, trying to do something. I love the nature, but it just wasn't working. So brings us to January of this year,
2023,
which is pretty amazing considering where I'm at right now, physically, spiritually, mentally. January, I came back to New York. Here it is. I overcame it. I run into people. They're crying. The fact that
I saw you at Bev's too. At the time. Shit, dude.
I was beat up, and all anybody wanted to do was talk about the past. I'm like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. And it just got worse and worse. Started getting really fat. I've always been up and down with my weight, even though I've been a personal trainer. I've always struggled with my weight, or I've abused food, like somebody would abuse drugs or something like that. And that's what was happening there. As I started to put on weight, which was just making me more and more depressed. And whatever. So January came down. I have a huge background in training professional athletes. My personal training background is really good. Not going to get into all that. But I got the call. Here I was back in New York. Oh, get a job at Amazon. Do all this. I'm like, I can't. I don't want to. And
you mean you don't want to work at a fulfillment center?
No, people are like, well, what do you want? I think I worked at a mortgage office for like an hour. I can't even tell you.
My mom's a mortgage broker.
I'm not knocking that industry.
No.
I'm just saying.
I've listened to countless years, and she's coming on the podcast on Tuesday.
That's awesome.
I've listened to countless years of my mother ups and downs with the market, of just misery and this and that. And listen, when it comes down to it, my mother is 65 years old, 64 years old, I believe. She's going to hate me that I said that, but regardless, whatever, embrace it, mother. And she can't retire yet because she's constantly riding the market. Yeah, and it's tough, man. I want to see her relax. I want to see her be able to enjoy life. Yeah. And unfortunately, the rat race has kept her in her position.
Well, that's kind of brings me to like where I'm at. So it's like, I refuse to do it. I know I need it. Yeah, you need money. You got to be, I'm like, first of all, I left this country, not because I hated it. I don't have any mouth. I love New York. I love New York. I love my country. I'm happy with life. I really, truly am. But it wasn't working. Nothing was working for me.
And it's crazy when you have to, when people feel like you have to explain that.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, again, and people are giving me advice. You have money, but you're not happy. I don't want to do what you do. Yeah. I don't want to work 100 hours a week.
You have a house in the Hamptons. You have a house in Huntington Harbor. You got a penthouse in the city. But for some reason, you're still depressed as well.
And you work 100 hours a week. I can't sit down for 2 hours. I can't. I'm not wired like that. So here I am now. I'm not 45. Now I'm 46. 45 years old. And what, I'm going to go work for $15 an hour and work to live? No, I'm not going out like that. So I didn't know what I was doing. I was in Brooklyn. Ended up in Brooklyn with a friend. I was in a bad place. This is February of this year, which is nuts. It makes me smile, dude, because it almost makes me want to cry because I did a complete 180. I was a broken, fat, depressed man who knew I had the it factor. I knew I had talent. I knew I had something that nobody knows I have yet. And I'm trying to be forced into this box, even now, because I was sick, all this. I don't have money. Everybody giving me advice. I don't want your advice. I'm not going to listen to it. And thank God I did. So I get a call. One thing led to another. And thank God my history of working with players, it came full circle, and I got a job with Will Barton. NBA player, 13-year vet, awesome guy. So he gave me an opportunity. We started working together in Washington, D.C. About March, April, spent a couple months working with him. He invited me down to Miami. A lot of these NBA players go down to Miami for the summer right before the season starts. One, so they can party, get the vibe, they got the money, they're living the high life, and just Miami's the place to be for these guys. He invites me down. 2-month contract, big money. Done. So for most personal trainers, that's a dream. I've been in and out of Hollywood. I've been all over the personal training market. So most guys, I made it. Well, listen, that's a 2-month job. So I made it for 2 months. So I got down there. This is a wealth of knowledge and experience, and I'm not chasing a bag. I'm not chasing the celebrity. I want to become one. And if people think that that's funny, you could think it as funny as you want, but I have my own dreams, and it's not clear cut. It's not the same as everybody else's, but I'm not stopping until I get there. And I'm still not. And I made it. So I go down, I go into Miami, great money, but I also know as of September 1st, I'm completely unemployed. I have nothing, no job, no nothing, in shambles with a lot of things. What's next? So instead of going down and partying and living the good life, I went down there and I worked my ass off. The average I was getting about $900 a workout. I mean, it's a sick job. So most people would look at it and just try to maintain that and get that job. No, I'm looking at it as like, in 2 months, I have no job, so I need to take this time. What is it that you want to do, bro? What is it you want to do? Because you just went from the bottom to the top real quick, but after that, you're going to just go back to the bottom again? Nah, no way, bro. So I went down to Miami, and only the people of Miami, some people on social media know what happened to me down there. I went down to Miami, and I don't know what other way to put this. I set myself on fucking fire. I figured out what my dream, what my passion was. I'm going to go back and tell you how this happened. Cool? So I get this job with Will. We start training together. I get the job in Miami. I need to get in shape. I know what to do. I got the bodybuilding career. I've always been a top-tier trainer for my personality. I don't have some schematics, some crazy. No, people want to be around me. At least my clients do. Not everybody, but my clients do. And that's what makes me a good trainer. It's a personality. Again, it's not some sequence. I think for the last 4 years of personal training, I didn't even fucking count a set. People are like, I did 14 on this thing, 16. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So that's where the
500-pound dent.
Yeah, and I've been running for personal for like the last 10 years. I just want nothing to do. Like, get me out of the fucking gym. I got way more to offer the world. So here's the deal. So I've always been a low carb guy. Okay, it's just fun. Let's dig right into it. For me, bodybuilding, not building. Whenever I pull my carbohydrates, so it's when I got into shape. And I'm not going to make this a boring nutrition thing, but this is a life-changing nutrition thing that even if one person gets something out of this, it's worth it to me. So that's always worked for me, not because of the science, anything like that. It's because if I eat the typical bowl of oatmeal and 10 egg whites, I'm fucking starving all day. I'm starving. But if I eat 6 eggs and some cheese, I'm full for like 5 or 6 hours. Works for me, always have. Whatever. I'm not pushing that on anybody. So I know what to do, right? Jump on the Stairmaster, go to work. I got about a month to get in shape before I'm in Miami with celebrities. I need to be in shape.
Girls.
It's not even a question. I know what to do. I'm all about the 30 for 30s, not only with my work or myself. I like results fast. I like it. I'm about it. And if you say you're going to do something, you fucking do it. And most people do not. Sorry for the cursing.
No, do not apologize.
It's not going to be my last one.
That's okay. I drop them all the time.
Passionate. The happier I am, the more energetic and the more I curse.
That's okay.
So, all right, I know what to do. So what's happening? I used to do 2 hours of Stairmaster a day. I love it. Love it. Sick. Oh, but so now I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm like, all right, no, I got 30 days. So get on the plane at 30 for 30. Bro, nothing's working. I'm getting on the Stairmaster for like 2 minutes and I'm dying. And I'm like, oh, I got to die. Dude, nothing's working. I'm a career-long trainer. I've done this. This is my profession. And I can't go more than 12 hours without completely sabotaging my diet. What the fuck is going on? I don't know. I was like concerned. And I'm so glad it happened, bro, because it brought me down this rabbit hole. You had mentioned Andrew Huberman. Mm-hmm. It was one of his podcasts that spawned me onto thinking something else. Now, there's this video. There's 2 videos. One is Angus Barbieri. Okay, and if any of you guys follow or go to my social media, this is probably the only story that I ever wanted to release. This is about 2 years old. Angus Barbieri, okay? This man did not eat a crumb of food for 385 days. Not one crumb of food. Okay, I want you to go look at this story. It's one of my proudest ones. It's absolutely amazing. That, and I remember about 2 years ago, I saw this not a little kid, about a 16, 17-year-old kid, completely shredded. And his trainer was like, yeah, he just eats meat. And I'm like,
oh, I've seen that. Is he Asian kid, right?
Yeah, some Filipino, I think. Yeah. It doesn't matter. So, and I didn't really pay attention to it, right?
Shredded.
To
the bone.
Bone shredded. So here I am. I don't know. Now I've got like 22 days left. I'm in the highlight. What the fuck do I do? So I was like, I need to try something different. Let's get extreme. I'm all about it. I am extreme. I have no problem putting myself through the ringer. I will do it, and I won't ask my clients to do anything that I don't. That being said, I need to do something dramatic here. Okay, so I had a couple different things going on at once, and I have found the secret for myself and at least for my clients. For me, it's what worked for me. It's what saved my life. So this is not like a little diet strategy or the trainer with abs that eats McDonald's is doing. No, I'm telling you, 6 or 7 months ago, this kept me from possibly killing myself or absolutely dying or perishing into nothingness by changing what I put into my mouth. We always think that, oh, nutrition is this much. No, nutrition is 99% of not just the physical game, the fucking mental game. Yeah. And I had no idea. I had no idea what was going on. And again, I've been a top-tier trainer, commanding. I just got a job, 14 G's a month with this guy. Turns out I didn't even know what the hell I was talking about. I had to go down the rabbit hole and start looking at different sciences, and I had to figure it out myself. I had to do this fast. How do I do it? I said, 1, here's what's going to work for me. These are catchphrases. Unfortunately, I have to use these to explain what I'm doing. People, especially with responding to me, oh, it's keto. Oh, it's carnivore. No.
The buzzwords of the industry.
Right. You got to have them. But first of all, keto, you don't know what you're talking about. People think they pull their carbs. You're on a keto diet. The ketogenic diet is 80 to 90% fat. So unless you've looked at your plate and saw 80 to 90% fat, you don't know what the fucking ketogenic diet is. It's not just pulling your carbs. It's 80% fat.
I had, let me just interject for 2 seconds.
Please do.
Just 2 seconds. No, just as a laughing anecdote for keto. I had my aunt's boyfriend. Okay, ready for this?
There's always an extension.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I've been in the fitness industry for how many years?
Yeah, no.
Right? And listen, I'm not a pro. I'm not anything like that. But I've been around everybody, and I've read a lot, and I've researched a lot, and I've gone through a lot. I mean, just this year alone, I was 230 in March, and I'm down to 189 now.
Great.
So it's like that.
Yeah, I met you backstage at a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
At the Mets.
Long time ago. So that's how we first met, and then we were Bev's guys. So
yeah.
I've learned some shit.
Yeah.
So. My aunt's boyfriend, I'll never forget this. It was fucking insane. It was Christmas time, like 2-3 years ago. We're all just everyone's just eating whatever. And she just goes, yeah, he's doing really well with keto. Now I'm looking at the guy, he's fat. And he's fucking fat. And I'm looking at him, he looks like a stuffed sausage. And it's just like, he's got like the shirt is like brushing against his skin. And I'm just looking at him like, okay, like okay, maybe he just started, like whatever. And she's like, oh no, he's been doing it for a while and this and that. And he's drinking wine. So I go to him, I go, you shouldn't have alcohol on keto because, it's carbs and this and that. Oh, well, the people that I talk to about keto, like they say that it's okay to have like 1 or 2 glasses of wine, every couple of days. I'm like, all right, bro, well, it's obviously working. It's obviously working, dog. So just keep doing whatever you're doing. And if that makes you happy, then fine. But you're not doing keto.
Well, and that's the thing. There's just catchphrases. So I put a couple things together. And
I'm listening. I'm just going to grab my coffee.
Oh, go. So I put a couple things together. One, what worked for me initially is the OMAD diet. I have issues with food. I have issues with life, okay? A lot of OMAD, one meal a day. It works for me, and I'm going to give you the emotional part. Nothing to do with fucking science or anything else like that. I have used food like most of us do as little dopamine hits, just like drugs. And the crazy part of today's society, don't do drugs, don't do the drinking, but you can eat like a fat fuck and it's okay. It's the same thing. You're not hungry. You're looking for a quick fix. You're a little bored with your life, so you think you're hungry. No, you're just looking for another hit. You're being a fucking pussy. Okay, you're looking to get off on something, and the crazy thing with food, you can do it right in front of somebody, and it's okay, completely justified. It is not. It is ruining us. That being said, what works for the OMAD, the reason OMAD works for me is, one, there's no decision-making. For 23 and a half hours of the day, I'm not eating. Yep. You can't fuck up. There's no decision-making to make. So for me, that works, because once I start eating, I don't want to stop. I'm not claiming I'm anything that I'm not. I can abuse food. I've abused food for the same reason a lot of other people do. It's just I am honest about it. So the OMAD works for me, and that, first of all, the benefits of fasting, I'll get into that at another point.
Sorry, fasting. I'm not religious with it. I need to be. I'm not religious with it.
It's the answer to changing our society and changing your life is fasting. Not intermittent fasting, not the 16-hour thing, a true OMAD thing. And if anybody's listening, you want to start somewhere, start with an OMAD diet. Do not eat anything for 23 and a half hours a day. Even if you want to eat whatever you want for that meal, try it.
23 and a half.
23 and a half. Do not eat one time a day.
So you have 30 minutes to eat.
Well, let's put it like this. You're going to eat one time a day. Okay. So to make it easier, it's one time a day. I choose to do it at the end of the day because of my food issues and my own brain and my own issues. I go as late as possible because once I start eating, I want to keep going, baby.
That's how I am,
and that's my life. I figured it out. So I'm not going to change that. I can't hammer myself into a box that I don't fit in. I have to make it work for me. So I did the OMAD, and that was working. The benefits of fasting are on a cellular level, on an anti-carcinogenic level. The benefits of fasting are absolutely insane, and the biggest benefit to me. It's the mental.
Yes.
Now here's where it sizzles for me, and here's where it absolutely changed my life. Not only a little bit, real quick. And the clients with I'm right now, I sell this 5-day plan. It's a 5-day fat adaptation plan. And people are so skeptical, like 5 days, you can't change your body. I'm literally changing people's lives, changing people's lives in a 5-day span. It's the most incredible thing I've been part of. The reason it's working is because I had to do it myself. Okay, so not only are we doing the one meal a day, we are doing it with what I want to call a modified carnivore diet. I say modified because it's not just straight meat. I like to add some avocados, some peanut butter, which both have some carbohydrates. But at the end of the day, what I'm doing is an OMAD modified carnivore diet, which is absolutely insane. When I send people their food list, this is what worked for me. I was waking up losing 7-8 pounds of fat a day. Guess what? I had 3 weeks. I went to Miami completely bone shredded. Because I'm a psycho when it comes into change, especially if it's personal and especially if it's a challenge to myself. This was a big challenge. I got to get into Hollywood in shape as a top-level trainer. I can't go down there with a freaking double chin and no abs.
So that's something that I've seen a lot. I see a lot of trainers, and I know a couple that, through the grapevine and whatnot that are good trainers, they do their thing, but you're fat, you're out of shape. Like, why would I would never pay you to tell me what to do because I don't. That's like if I cut and pasted all my videos or all my photos. Every photo, every video looked the same. Nothing was original. Nothing. It was all bullshit. It's like, well, Nick, you're just doing the same shit over and over again. It's like this. It's like you're doing this. You're stuck in that process of like you gotta be you're your own business card.
Right. You don't have to be. I mean, I've been the fat trainer. I've been doing this. I've had food issues since 17 years old. I've been training.
But I've in the years that I've known you, I have never seen you fat. You may be overweight comparatively to what you usually are. Higher fat.
Hide it well.
But you have a lot of muscle and you still look good.
Right.
So when I say fat, I mean like fat.
But I'm saying, because I'm the only one really knows, I hide it well. In a t-shirt, whatever. Oh, you look big. That means I'm fat. When I'm healthy is when I look like shit in a t-shirt. I look weird. That's what I have right now. I have this little like in the middle stage. I'm not XL, I'm not a double XL, but when I take my shirt off, I look 40 pounds heavier. That's what I'm making. So it's a really funny thing about that whole industry and that whole thing. But for me, it's the mental, bro. I was waking up, I feel good, and I wasn't eating. And here's where it gets fucking nuts. And even now, to this day, it blows my mind. Bro, the longer that I fast, the sicker my workout is. There's nothing that makes sense about this. You got to get up. You need energy. Bro, if you have body fat, here's the best fuel source in the world is right here. Your best food source in the world. You already have it on you. Why do we keep stuffing our face? I'm not going to say not just because of the calories, the inflammation. You're not supposed to eat this way. It's the most unhealthy thing we could do. But we're taught, get up, you need energy. No, it's ass backwards. You have the energy. You got to tap into it. So that's what I did. I got in here. I was like, all right. So I'm not eating under 50 grams of carbohydrates. Dude, fat is melting off me. But here's what's happening. I'm waking up so happy. I almost wanted to kill myself 3 weeks ago, and now I'm on fire. Not only that, my mind is operating where just a week ago I got to take care of this player. And then all of a sudden, like a couple weeks, I'm like, well, yeah, that player, I got to take care of that. But what's next for me? What's next for Britton Kelley? What's going on in my mind? This is changing my mind by not plowing food into my body. Is this even possible? 100% it absolutely saved my life. Okay, I'm going to say this. Carbs are non-essential. What that means, this is not my opinion. This is scientific fact. Carbohydrates are non-essential. It means you don't need them to sustain life. Say that one more time. They're not essential. You don't need them. There's no need for carbohydrates. Why doesn't everybody know that?
Well, because you're taught the bullshit food pyramid at a young age, and you get lack knowledge of nutrition courses throughout your entire life, and then you're fed unless you get some type of a mental breakthrough and you start actually finding things and going down the rabbit hole yourself. Even people in the fitness industry, you exactly what you said, the oatmeal, this and that. Oatmeal, I used to eat oatmeal every single morning, and guess what? It's fucking horrible for you. Glyphosates are in it, all the bullshit that's in the oatmeal itself, and not to mention the insulin spikes and all the extra shit that it does to you. So when you say stuff like that, like, why don't we know this? We don't know this because we're not properly taught it, and even if we were properly taught it, you are then told that you're wrong because it goes outside the norm of what societal standards consider. So you can't just have an alternate opinion and say, hey, why don't you give this a shot because it'll change your life and you'll accept. No. You're just told, no, that's wrong. You're going to kill yourself. You shouldn't be eating animal protein. You shouldn't be eating high dairy, high fat, this and that. Or then they shove it in your face. They'll do, the blue zones.
Yeah. Well,
so that's what they'll say.
Here's the thing with the blue zones.
Yeah.
I got something for you.
Yeah.
The blue zones. They're bullshit. I lived right next to one in Costa Rica. Here's the thing with the blue zones. It's faulty data. They don't have records for these people. So it's not that they have this fucking healthy way. I know, I've lived in the blue zone. They eat fucking rice and beans. They're poor. They have faulty data. They don't have medical records or history. So the blue zones are complete bullshit. It's about historically they don't have data on it.
So what is the blue zone for? I'm gonna have you explain it because
the blue zones I don't know.
For people that don't know,
there's supposed to be like 6 to 8 of them throughout the world. One of them is located in Costa Rica, where these people are living for such long lives. They're living these longer, healthier lives. And I really got into that, especially I was living right next to one in Costa Rica. I'm like, well, I know what these people eat. They're eating rice and beans all day. They're eating shit. They have no money. Like, what is this? And it just turns out that they don't have records of it's like, I don't know exactly, but they're not like historical records. So it just turns out that it's not this amazing thing. These people are living these healthy, happier lives. They just don't have records of the past. So they have these people live. It's not what we think that it is.
Yeah.
Because these people are eating, it's fresh, it's whatever. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit. I know. These people are just...
Wouldn't be the first time a quote-unquote historical, a survey was done and it wasn't actually accurate.
Yeah, well, again, I have been a professional trainer. I have multimillionaires trusting me with everything. I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Drink a shake after your workout. Guys... The fucking post-workout window is absolute fucking bullshit. The anabolic window is fucking bullshit. Breakfast is shit. None of it makes sense, okay? And getting back to what I was saying about the fasting. So check this out. This is insane. This is what I'm applying today. The longer I fast, sometimes I'll push my fast because I feel good. What's happening? I fast now for mental clarity. It's not even about the body. I'm already in shape. I fast now because it feels good. The longer I fast, I'm on point. So if I have something like this, or if I have something coming up, I fast for it because my performance level's out of control.
That's what I've told people since I've started fasting. And like I said, in and out. I'm not as dedicated as you are. And I will, without question, because that has accelerated that plus the jiu-jitsu, plus I do HIIT classes in the morning. Mm-hmm. And theoretically, I mean, dropping 40 pounds the last couple of months, I really haven't done anything dramatic. I've tracked my macros and I've tracked them loosely, but the most I've done HIIT classes in the morning, jiu-jitsu at night. I was rolling 4 or 5 days a week. But then around, I would say June, July, I started to think, hey, why don't I try a fast? And the first breakthrough mentally that I had with fasting was, I said, there's so many people that talk so many benefits about it. The autophagy, that's what everyone talks about. And I'm like, okay, let me give it a shot for the health benefits, not even for the weight loss. I don't even give a fuck about the weight loss. So I start checking it out, and I said, okay, let me just fucking do one. So what I did was I had a cheat meal, and I had ramen and ice cream on a Sunday night. I said, you know what, fuck it. It's been a while. Let me just load up a little bit. And I loaded up. And I stopped eating at 5 o'clock. And I went, I think, 22 hours on a fast. And it was weird because after 18, I wasn't hungry anymore. I was like, okay, I feel pretty good. Mental clarity started coming around at like hour 20. And I just said, okay, this is pretty cool. And what the biggest thing that I noticed was normally when I'd have a cheat meal, when I'd go balls to the wall on a Sunday, eat my fucking face full, the next day to 2 days, I would be holding a ton of fucking water. I look like shit. I feel like shit. And every time I still have a cheat meal today, like jujitsu, I can't hold on the same way. There's inflammation. I can feel it from eating the shitty foods.
That's crazy.
So, but when I fasted, it's almost like I got rid of the shit quicker. I got rid of everything in my body quicker, and my weight stabilized. So it's as opposed to being over on the scale, I was the same or under. And I'm like,
you said a key thing right there.
That's weird.
It's funny. I tried to do a video on it. Again, we could go fucking days talking about it.
I know we could.
But you said push the shit out of you. Here's what's funny is I get these clients on the 5-day plan, and it's perfect for me. And this is two-sided. I have a 5-day plan. One, I can prove that we can get dramatic results in 5 days. People are so skeptical. That's fine. I know and my clients know. And it's pain, inflammation, all these other things. What happens also that after 5 days, I get to see who I'm working with because I'm only going to work with people. Here, you get the gist of it. And here's the thing what's happened. By day 2, people are like, Britt, I haven't gone to the bathroom. All right, well, let's think about this. And I have not even heard anybody discuss this. I am now. Let's talk about shit.
Go after it.
So, day 2, day 3, Britt, I haven't gone to the bathroom. Now, why do you think that is? I don't know, this diet, it's weird. Why do you think you need to go to the bathroom? What is an incessant need to go to the bathroom?
Yeah. What is its main function? Why would you need to go to the bathroom?
What are you pushing out of you? Things that you haven't digested. Why do we think that that's good?
Yeah.
Britt, I haven't gone. Good. Guess what? You're not full of shit. And I tried to do a video of this, but I said shit 50 times. I was like, damn, I'm trying not to say this, but you think about it.
Feces.
And this is where it gets really deep. And this is where even online or having a presence or getting the feedback from people. So this need for fiber. Why do we take in fiber? Fiber is insoluble. It just goes right through you. So we need fiber, what? To push out this shit. I wish there was another word for it. Okay. Well, what are we talking about here? What are we pushing out? Why is our body not absorbing? Why is that okay? Why have we not even questioned that? What are we pushing out? Well, what's happening is we're not putting the shit into our body. This is day 2, day 3. We're not talking like months and months. We're talking very quickly. I load them up with just fats and protein, and they're not going to the bathroom. There's nothing to push out. Your body's absorbing what you're eating. It's a good thing. And I've got people that don't go for days. I'm not saying that's healthy, but we're taking in fiber. Why do we need fiber? Do we need fiber? Not at all. A bunch of bullshit. There are some cases, there are some cases where it could be beneficial. But all in all, fiber, it's all bullshit.
Yep.
You're pushing the junk out of your body. Why are you putting the junk into your body? Let's start there. Okay? This need for vitamins and minerals. Not saying everybody, but in general, I pull fruit and vegetables out of people's diet. The only thing I use is an avocado. And there's a deeper reason for that. Britt, oh my God, fruits and vegetables, you need these vitamins. Who said? Why do I need these vitamins? Well, what do you mean? And I can't even talk about it. Well, what is it that I need these vitamins and minerals? Are you deficient? No. What the fuck do you need all these vitamins and minerals for? We don't even question it. Vitamins and minerals for what?
So let me challenge the thought process, just because I'm curious. So like blueberries and let's just talk about berries because I know berries are some of the best fruits that you can have. Because
for what?
For just in general, I'm saying for a fiber source, but for brain health and whatnot. Because I forget the actual terms for the blueberries, but Dr. Amen, he's a brain psychologist. He does brain scans and whatnot. He says blueberries and berries in general are some of the best foods you could have at least once a day just to help your brain out. So I believe that I do, but with just eating protein and fats, do you believe at some point that there is some type of a deficiency that those aren't giving you?
No.
Okay.
No, and I'll tell you why. This is where it gets really good.
This
is where I claim my title. So jumping back into the internet game, getting into Miami, figuring out how do I get onto the internet as a trainer and make a splash? I need a title. I'm way more than a trainer. I'm not a personal trainer. That's actually insulting. No disrespect to any personal trainers, but I've been doing this a long time. I'm one of the best. I am. I can say that. It's the only thing in my life that I'm super good at. I'm trying to figure out my title, right? And it's taken me decades. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm changing people's lives. And I came up with Game Changer, right? I'm like, oh, it's bizarre. It's weird. I know. But I believe in it. And you know why? Because it is a game changer. Now, these things, you're talking about neuroscientists, doctors, talking about brain cognition, mental health. Again, there's cancers, there's other diseases and stuff. So I'm talking about general population. Okay, there are a need. I'm not saying there's no need for vitamins and minerals or fruits and vegetables. But this premise that we automatically need them, no, it's bullshit. All the nutrients you need are in your body fat. It's the best fuel source you have. We're not cracking into that. Here's the thing. Yes, you need fiber if you're on a standard American diet to push the shit out of your body. Why are we putting the shit in our body? And this is where you just question everything. Okay, so we have to push this out. You need the fiber. Why? Why would you take in sugar, which is going to spike your insulin, which is a fact? It's not my opinion.
Nope,
why are you going to make yourself fat to push out something that doesn't belong in your body anyway? What is the thing there? Because people couldn't comprehend completely changing their intake. So yes, things like fiber, there's certain things that will help you if you're on a standard American diet, because all this shit is blocking you from absorbing the nutrients that you actually already have in your body. These meats, these fats, it's all you need to sustain life.
So you're saying that there's so much excess that you're just not absorbing it, and that's why you're deficient.
That's why there's this need for all this other stuff, because you're taking all the stuff that's pulling shit out of your body. We are consuming. We are destroying not only our physical health, our brain health by consuming. We're blocking we're blocking the human body from working the way it's supposed to. We're not supposed to eat all day.
So I'll tell you this. So when I was doing the bodybuilding really heavy, I was trying to have a solid off season. This is like 2016, 2017. I was trying to really focus on it and really go in and this and that. And
I was with you.
yeah. Just a point in my life that I'm glad I grew out of. To be completely frankly honest with you, because I talked with Lindsay Greeley. I know you know Lindsay through Bevs. I talked with Lindsay. She's had an epiphany as well. She lives out in LA, which she doesn't love it out there anymore, but she loves her clients and the people that she works with. So she's staying there for now. But nevertheless, we were talking about like the need to constantly eat. I mean, and constantly put fucking food into your body. And Meadows actually used to talk about fasting. He talked about fasting back in like 2012. And he just said, you don't have to do like these intermittent fastings. He's like, I just believe that we are putting so much food as bodybuilders in our body that we don't give our bodies a time to like chill and digest and this and that. So I say all that to bring it up to like 2016, 2017 when I was hammering the food. I mean, I think I was on 600 grams of carbs a day because we reverse dieted me up. And
whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, you know what? In layman's terms, and for what the understanding of it is it was supposed to help reverse my metabolism out because the coach that I originally had, who will always go unnamed, wanted me on a lot of steroids. Tanked me to the fucking ground, and I started working with a homeopath and a natural guy down in Florida, and he helped me to build my metabolism back up to what it was. But we use standard shit. We use and it's nothing against him. It worked, and I was lean, and but I was eating so much food. Now the issue that I had was I was shitting all the time. Like it was just around the fucking clock. Like I wake up, I shit. Go afternoon, shit. Another one in the afternoon before shit. Before bed, shit. It's like I wasn't stopping. So I started developing hemorrhoids.
Well, because of the inflammation.
Yes. So I started developing hemorrhoids, and then last year, I had a anal fistula.
I love when you talk dirty to me.
Oh, listen, man, anal fistula. Like I said, first off, I hate that name. It's fucking crazy. I've talked about it on the I've talked about it on the podcast before, and it's evidently extremely common, and nobody talks about it because it's embarrassing. But they say it either happens when you have colitis or Crohn's, which I don't have either yet. Who knows? My mom has colitis, so it's like it's one of those where they say you get it because of that, but they said it just happens because there's a sweat gland in your rectal wall that gets inflamed and it doesn't clear out, so it creates an abscess pocket, and that's what it was. But I noticed around that time, not only was it the most unhealthy I was eating the most shit, I was drinking a lot, like all this stuff. I believe that it was all of that and the inflammation that caused that, because then I had to go in for a first surgery.
It's traffic.
I had to go in for a first surgery, then I had to go in for another surgery this past January, so it'll be almost a year that I had the second surgery to finish it off, and they cut a chunk out of your rectal wall to clear the abscess pocket and channel out. So that's kind of what's fired me up on my new fast, because I found that when I had fiber, I didn't go to the bathroom that much. But then as I started the fasting, you don't go to the bathroom that much. So it's quite the thought challenging process that you switch up.
It is. And the crazy thing about fasting is it's not new. Religions have been fasting since the beginning of time. We just never at any point said, you know what, maybe this could be a diet strategy. And again, for somebody who's been selling nutrition at a high level, at a high rate, to come back and say, guess what, I was full of shit and I didn't know what I was talking about. Stop eating. Let's try that. And I think that's what makes me so excited about what I'm doing right now is that I'm new to this. I'm living this life. So only my clients really know. I get juiced up. Because it just saved my life. I was that fat, battered, broken, depressed piece of shit this year. Now I'm in one of the better shapes of my life, exercising way less. This is the least I ever exercise. I stay active. I haven't jumped on a machine of cardio. I walk. There's so many simple things at play here. Stop eating. Stop fucking eating. Can you imagine that one? So, Britt, what am I paying for? You're paying for me, if you want, for me to show you how to do this and sustain this. I hate this because I'm not this organic yoga tree hugging guy. This is a lifestyle. And what happened to me, yeah, I'm in shape. I could cheat. I don't. I feel like shit when I cheat. I try to. And what happens is I don't feel it. I'm not saying I never do. I had pizza the other night. It was absolutely amazing. This isn't eating meat for the...
But it's back to basics, right?
Right. So what do we do? You don't get up the next day and just keep going. What you do is fast it out. You fast it out. You thug it the fuck out. And here's the thing with fasting. The carbohydrate. Again, it's not just fat. This is where it's tough to talk about because people take a couple key words. Oh, it's just fasting. No, because when I break the fast, we're breaking it with 0 carbohydrates. So what happens in your body over the course of 5 days we want is absolutely insane. And I'm not just talking about the body fat. It's the mind, the pain. I have clients just getting off their blood pressure medicine in 3 days. 3 days, lifelong. Heartburn. Bro, I took Nexium since I was 18 years old every day of my life. I am curing people's heartburn in 2 days. By taking out the carbohydrates and not eating. Gone. It's insane. Blood sugars. I had a guy who had a liver transplant. He got on me 3 weeks. His blood sugars are low. I mean, like a quarter of what it was the week before. Stop fucking eating. And when you break the fast, don't eat the carbohydrates. You don't need them. So
Gary Brecka is big on not. I'm sure you've seen Gary.
He's controversial. He's got some awesome material.
He's got awesome material, but he's some of the stuff I listen to. I'm just like, okay, maybe.
Well, you know
he talks about like immediately when you wake up, have 30-gram protein shake, and I'm just like, oh, well,
you know what?
Maybe.
And you know what? At least he's out there pushing. He's an advocate. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of Dr. Kiltz. He's a fan of mine too, which is pretty awesome. He's a lead doctor in the carnivore space. This guy basically eats a ribeye and butter every night. He's in phenomenal shape. He's awesome. He's awesome.
I would love to sustain that and do that.
I can't.
My issue is I have hemochromatosis. So I my body deposits iron in the brain and liver exceptionally quickly now. So my iron levels were extremely high 2 years ago. My ferritin was almost 500. Mm-hmm. And then this year I got tested again in August because I was having a lot of brain fog. I was feeling fucking off. And a lot of people that know, I talked about it on the podcast a lot. And and then the guy down in Florida told me 2 years ago, I call him the mad scientist. He's a doctor down there. He told me 2 years ago, donate blood. You have to get the iron out of your blood.
Pump it out, yeah.
And I said, okay. I'm afraid of needles, so I just pushed it off. And, yeah, I'm like a fucking bitch. Like a bitch. So then, yeah, pussy. So then
I'm not.
So then this August and September, I was feeling like shit, man. I was feeling like shit. Couldn't explain it. I'm in some of the best shape of my life, performing like an athlete in everything that I do. I'm wrestling grown ass humans. Like I'm feeling great, but I feel off mentally with work, just life. I have a beautiful apartment. I live in a great village. Like, why do I feel off? And it almost felt like there was a bubble around my head. I couldn't explain it. And him and this other Indian dude that I work with he does a lot of like the natural stuff with vitamins and whatnot. And he's been spot on for a lot of stuff. He told me months ago to donate blood. Months ago. So my guy down in Florida says, yo, can you just listen to the fake doctors? That's what he calls himself. He goes, can you listen to the fake doctor? Because I've had doctors on the show, and I've had friends of mine that I've shown my lab results to, and they go, no, your iron levels are fine. You don't have hemochromatosis. You don't need to donate blood. You don't need to donate blood. I went and saw, it was actually my worst point I've been in a long time mentally. I went to a doctor with my mom. My mom took me. She's like, we have to go. Because like I was crying. I was like, what is wrong with my brain? I was like, something is off, and I can't explain why. What is wrong?
Identify with it.
And I've always been very sensitive to how I feel. I've always been able to tell when things are off. When I was little, I used to tell my mom, like, I'm gonna throw up. She'd be like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw up. And I just A minute later, throw up everywhere.
Yeah,
I've always been able to identify when something is off in my body and when I don't feel right. I couldn't explain it. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I go to the doctor with her, and the doctor just goes, yeah, everything looks great. Like, your labs are perfect. Like, everything looks great, this and that. And she's like, maybe you need to go see a therapist. And I said, I mean, I'm down to go see a therapist regardless. I said, I think I got a lot of shit with like my father when I was younger, like that I need to get out anyway. So that's fine. But I don't think that that's what this is. But I said, whatever. And then she's like getting upset that I'm like, okay, well, you can't help me, obviously. So I got to get the fuck out of here. She's like, well, no, we're good. I said, write the script for a therapist and I'm going to leave. So I haven't done that yet. I haven't gone that bad. But I finally said like that following Monday, it was a Wednesday when I went to her. That following Monday, I was just like, you know what? Let me go donate blood because at this point, I'm already afraid of the needles anyway, and I might as well face my fear. I can't feel worse, so fuck it. I go, I get it done. That day, tired, I feel okay. The next day, feel a little bit better, but maybe it's a placebo. I don't want to jinx it.
Pumped it out of there.
The day after, fuck, they were right. I'm like, God damn it. Yeah. Clearer. And that, so... ever since then, I do get nervous because I have a freezer full of red meat. I buy from a.
But that comes down what you're speaking. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
But that comes down to the theory of having to pump all that out because you've got an overflow of this in your body. But it also comes. It's the same theory of like we're just taking in too much. We're taking in too much. Your body's just trying to release all this shit, and it's fixable by just stop taking in so much. There's people, like I said, I just talked about Angus Barbieri. He's my dude. He would be with me right now if he was still alive. The guy didn't eat for 385 days, did not eat food. I get people that are mind blown when I tell them to go on a 36-hour fast. Oh, that's crazy. No, it's not. It's the healthiest thing you could possibly do for you.
My mom did a 3-day fast recently.
I started implementing 2-day fast. I can't go more than 2. I don't want to go more than 2 days. Let's put it that way. I enjoy eating. But man, like I said, forget about the mental health, all this. What's actually happening with fasting? Like I said, me and my clients are fasting every day for at least the 23 hours. And now I started stretching it out. And dude, the longer we go, the better it is to have this week on Monday. There's sometimes I do generalize some things where I take most of my clients and one day I'll decide, we're going to do this just to try it out.
Yeah.
And they love it, and I tell them, I was like, "Listen, nothing. I'll do 2 times it myself." And this was actually Sunday. Nobody knew what was happening. I did this with about 12 people this week. This was Sunday when people are, I'll break the secret here. When people are really starting to get good results, I do implement cheat meals. Cheat meals for mental reasons more than anything else. They can also prompt some serious fucking weight loss, especially if you're doing a almost zero carb diet. But that being said, this week I hit them with it, and they said, "Oh, by the way, you're not eating again until Tuesday." Holy shit! And it's good because it's a mental test. And what's crazy is like I'd say 11 out of 12 people, we got to Tuesday. They're like, "Yo, Britt, I'm not hungry. I think I want to keep going." What? Dude, yeah.
So what are you having them do? You're having them drink electrolytes and stuff?
No.
Because that's something that I've found when I did the fast. I feel better when I do have like an element stick pack.
Here's the thing. Packs. Of course, I'm into Element, huge money maker. Okay, you don't
without question.
Sodium is the most important supplement in the world. I'm gonna say this one more fucking time. Sodium is the equalizer.
Wait, Britton, hold on.
Sodium.
The fitness industry
is not creating your high blood pressure.
Says that
you have high fucking blood pressure. It's not sodium's fault. It's increasing it. Let's figure out how you got the high blood pressure. Sodium is the best fucking supplement in the world. We are so taught that it's such a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing if you're in shit shape. Sodium, I give you this right now, especially if you're fasting. This is almost free. Sodium is almost free. Okay, you want the best pre-workout possible ever. You half hour before your workout, I'm talking not a little bit of sodium. You take some pink salt and I'm talking 2 tablespoons of it. You pound that down with some water before your workout and you let me know how that goes. If you're eating like shit every day, it's not going to have the same impact. But if you are fasting or if you are on an empty stomach and you want an insane pre-workout, pound down sodium a half hour before your workout. You're welcome. Element's pretty good, yes. Huge money maker, extremely expensive.
Oh, it's extremely expensive.
For what you're getting, it's extremely expensive.
Yeah, 3 or 4 boxes of it, and they're 36 in a box. It's like $1.20.
Here's where we can't cover all the topics. Here's where shit gets crazy. And I actually dropped this on TikTok once, and it's funny. I lost some people with this because it's just too bizarre to even think about. Okay,
hit me with it.
Water.
Go on.
So our consumption of water
is far too high.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not judging anything. I'm not saying don't drink water. I'm just saying this. Why do we drink water, right?
To hydrate?
To hydrate, Okay, so when people are getting back in shape, I wasn't going to go down here. When people are getting back in shape, fuck me.
Jump down the hole.
Hi, I'm here. So
Make some
when people
upset.
start a diet, they start their fruit and vegetables, which I've already discussed could possibly not be the most beneficial thing. Possibly not. And it's not. Broccoli turns into sugar in your bloodstream. Just letting you know. So what happens, you start eating your fruits and vegetables, you pound down the sugar, and you start pounding down the water. Fine. Forget about the sugar aspect of it. We're pounding down this water because we're taught it's so healthy. Why? You know what water makes you do? Piss.
Yep.
That's what water does.
Piss out all the electrolytes.
No, not maybe not. But here's the thing. It only makes you piss. How do you hold on to that water? Where does the hydration come from? Protein and fats. So you want to stay hydrated? And this is what's fucking nuts about what's going on with me, my clients, and everything. We don't drink that much water. We don't have to. We're already hydrated. I drink maybe a glass of water a day.
Interesting.
Because my body's hydrated. Because it's not taking in all the shit that's pulling all the water out of you. You need this water because you're taking all the fucking fruits and vegetables. And all the other things that we're taught is healthy. So we're taking in all this water. It's not doing anything. It's making you piss all day.
Now, a lot of these fruits and vegetables have water content. So in theory, you should be hydrated already from eating. So if a lot of people that have high fruit and vegetable
we want to, the whole thing is we're going to keep the water in the cell.
So that's something that I've done some research on from seeing things and hearing things. And a lot of people that I've listened to have said that the way that you get hydrated is couple of pinches of like large rock, like Celtic salt or something like that. Yeah. Put it under your tongue, let it dissolve, and then drink a little bit of water, and that'll push it into the cells. That's what they've said.
Sure.
Yeah. I haven't heard the notion of fats and protein are the catalyst for hydration.
They're the catalyst for everything. And that's where it gets so deep. And they're like, put it under the tongue, the timing. This is just a way deeper thing. What is happening in your body before all that? It's like even like, I'm going to get you to the pre-workout or this. Your body's running off of the intake from yesterday. Nothing that you took in today. It's not even physiologically possible. This is where the whole protein window, that protein that you take in, it's about 16 hours till that's even active. So it's all bullshit. You know what I mean? It takes that much time to even hit that protein source.
Even for a shake?
Oh, it's shit.
I'm saying just
I laugh
from the claim. I know you're not laughing at me. I'm
laughing at myself.
I'm asking for the claims of quick absorption of whey protein.
Let's put it like this: at 17 years old, my first business card said nutrition expert, and the only expertise I had was drink a whey protein shake after you work out for this anabolic window protein. It's absolute bullshit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I will say this for you though, and a lot of people. It's we think we know until we don't know, and now we have to readjust and go, wow, I thought I knew more than I did. And
if you could be humble enough, like it's funny, I have clients coming back to me that I've trained 20 years ago that are coming back like, Britt, what the fuck is this? I'm like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what I was talking about. And if you could be humble enough to learn, even now, I hope somebody gets on here, Britt, this, cool, guess what? Poke holes in what I'm doing, I'll get better. I got nothing to prove. All I know is what's working right now is light years ahead of anything the thought process I even had, and it's working fast. So right away, people will throw darts at me, put bullet holes in what I'm doing. That's fine. I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter. I know what I have. I know what I'm doing for people. I'm going to get better. A couple months from now, I'll get a little better. That's fine. But throw it. Keep going. But try this. Don't be so against something that you don't know anything about yet, because unless you try it, you don't know.
And that's also a double-edged sort of like, don't judge places before you go there and experience it too.
Right. Again,
like your life living in Costa Rica and Colombia now, and there's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like I heard that and I was like, God damn, man, that's exactly what. Because listen, I'm not guilty. I'm not innocent of not thinking that some of these places could be dangerous, and I don't want to go there because it's
good segue. It's a very good segue.
For real.
Yeah, no. Yes, I currently live in Medellin, Colombia, my favorite city in the world. I love New York. This will always be my home, but my home now is in Colombia.
I do want to visit Colombia. I do want to come down.
Come visit. I will hook you up. Not that you need my help. It's some of the most.
No, to be honest with you, like that's something that I like, knowing people where I go, and it's. Yeah, 100%. I've gone places where I've gone solo travel before, but it's always been within the States. Like Hawaii was the furthest I did solo travel.
This is cool. So I've spent my life. This is my entire life. Personal trainer. I'd make my money, and I would solo travel. This is what I've done my entire life. By myself. 95% of my trips have been by myself. I've been doing this since 1997. I save up enough money after a couple weeks personal training. I spend all my money traveling. First was Jamaica, then it was Brazil. I've been all around the world. I've spent all my money traveling by myself. People think it's so bizarre. I don't know why. There's something about getting into a culture, and I am the originator of the Airbnb, meaning this. When I first started going to Brazil, and this is before Google even, I started trying to figure out things out, you know. At first it was going to meet foreign women. It was great. It was awesome. You know, I was young, you know, young 20s. It was great. And then I learned early on that you got to get your own apartment because these hotels have certain policies. This is way back in the day. So I've been staying in the hoods of the world in apartments for a very, very long time. And again, this is what I do for fun. Nobody understood, like, Britt, why do you just travel by yourself and come back? I said, nobody wants to do what I'm doing. It doesn't excite them. But all I know is when I come back, I want to work and I want to do it again. And I've been judged even by my parents, like, well, what are you running away from? I'm not running away from this. It makes me feel good. I don't know why. And what's really awesome today, I live that. So what I used to do for fun, I fucking live it, bro. I work from my phone on a balcony in a foreign country. My life is a fucking vacation. I'm not running away from anything. I'm living the dream. And I say that very humbly in that I had to do this for years against everybody's opinion. Why are you doing this by yourself? Well, you know what? Because right now my life is set up in a beautiful country surrounded by beautiful people. Listen, the places that people choose to travel, the Arubas, the Bahamas, the Jamaicas, these are fucking cesspools. Cesspools. Compared to what Colombia is. The world's view on Colombia is so fucked up. And I get a lot. Again, I've been traveling my whole life. I've always been the gringo. I'm always the white guy. So I'm perceived as this. I'm rich. I'm looking for girls, and I'm looking for cocaine. That is like the MO of the white man on single man's travel around South America, Central America. Okay, I'm not doing those. And the crazy part is you bring up Colombia, and now that I've lived there, I've been there for 2 months. And my first time there was about 17 years ago. I fell in love with the women. I found Colombia because I kept on meeting Colombian girls in New York City, these little dancers in Jackson Heights. I'm like, you know what? I don't know what it is about you people, but I fall in love with you. There's this passion. It's crazy. I said, I got to get to the motherland and pull one out myself. And that's exactly what I fucking did. So I used to go. I'm
getting tired of these white girls. So I am. I got to get down there, man.
I listen, out of respect for
the white women,
for the gringos. I love you girls, but yeah. So I've been. Awesome. What prompted this is in 7th grade, Selena came out. And this is before Jennifer Lopez was Jennifer Lopez. She played the lead in Selena, and I watched this as a little kid, and I'm like, fuck, I am in love with this girl. Nobody even knew who J-Lo was. That being said, I've had this thing for Latina women forever. So I'm like, I'm going to Colombia, and I'm going to go to the motherland. I'm going to pick one off the farm, and I'm going to marry her. I didn't, but what happened, I started going then, and I fell in love with it. And what happened is it was amazing, and it was so. This is back in Medellin, Colombia. I live in Medellin, Colombia, beautiful, the city of eternal spring. Yes, that's where Pablo Escobar did his thing, but that being said, now I live there, and Costa Rica was a blessing because as much as I loved Costa Rica, it was awesome. I'm a city guy. I need people. I need culture. I mean, if you could follow me through the course of the day of what I do now, it's fucking insane. I've been there 2 months. I've had 18 Airbnbs. I'm going to say this one more time. I've had 18 fucking apartments in 2 months. I have a bicycle and I have my dog. I know more about Medellin than most of the people that live there because of my freedom that I have with my phone and what I'm doing, the lifestyle coach. And I call myself a nutritional lifestylist, which is exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, I've now experienced life, locals. I mean, I'm around the vibe, the people. It's funny because nobody knows anything about Colombia, and I've lived in different third world countries, visited almost everywhere. It feels like Colombia is got, in terms of a city, it's the most comparable city to New York City in the fucking world. It's the closest thing to New York there is, for a couple of reasons. But number one, the vibe, they work. So after years in Costa Rica, everybody's, yo, you need to chill out. Tranquilo. Well, I don't chill out. It's not me. I'm from New York. I'm taught to go.
Yeah,
go.
We do.
So, I was like getting tired of people telling me to calm down. I don't want to fucking calm down. I don't do yoga. I don't relax. I don't want to. Don't fucking tell me what to do.
Couldn't imagine you in yoga.
No, I did it once, killed it, and never went back. Fucking hurt my neck. So I fall asleep. Just so you know, I sit. The second I fucking sit down, I'm asleep. I run myself into the ground. Call it whatever you want, but I'm happy. I'm inspired by life. So I just go. So I'm running around Colombia. They have the best healthcare possible. So this is a mega city for a fraction of the price you pay anywhere. But because of the stigma and the stereotype, nobody wants to go visit. But you have no problem going to Aruba. Aruba is a shithole.
I've never been to Aruba. I have my aunt and my uncle who passed away a long time ago.
People love it.
He fucking go to Aruba
If you're
all the
resort
time.
people, if you're sitting there as a nice little stretch, keep in mind, I traveled the world for 8 years cleaning up beaches, so I get to see the other side of it. I get to see the other beach that they don't clean. So I've got
Not
this,
the pink sand.
No, I've got this exposure to the world. I'm not at Club Med on a fucking chair. I'd rather. I'm not into that. I want to be in the hood. I want to be with the locals. I want to experience the culture. I'm not afraid of anything, which is both good and bad. But there's a reason I could walk down the streets of Medellin, Colombia, alone with my dog with very little Spanish and not be fucking afraid, because I'm not afraid. And by not being afraid, it allows me to see the magic of living somewhere. Nobody would comprehend, especially the Colombians. They would never think that somebody had the balls enough to live in a place with very little Spanish and just walk around like, oh, I do. And because I'm willing to take that risk, I get the magic. You know what I'm saying? So it's not easy, but Colombia is one of the most amazing places in the world. The food, it's funny because I just got off the plane 2 o'clock this morning. Typically, when I'm coming to visit home, I want to come and get some pizza and whatever. Dude, I'm literally flying home, and I'll always be from New York. I love New York. I love the States. I'm not angry with the States. I don't have any of that angst. My home is in Colombia. And it's such an amazing feeling to call it my home, and I'm so proud of that. And now for the first time coming back to New York, yeah, I want to see my mom and my dad, but we have a good relationship. I can't wait to get back home.
Yeah. Especially for the pup.
Especially for my dog. Again, I'm leaving my dog.
Get your kid.
And again, I told you this before. She needed to do the doggy daycare. She needed 2 vaccines, 2 shots. They picked her up about 25 miles from the place. 3 nights lodging. Going to drop her off tomorrow. Offer $80. Okay, so not only do I love Colombia, I can't afford to come back here even if I wanted to.
I trip on my sidewalk and it costs me $80. Oh, when I come out the house in the morning.
My Uber receipts. There's not one day I don't wake up, and honestly, it blows my mind. I look at my phone and I'm like, $1.40, $1.80.
That's wild.
Oh, dude, I'm hiring videographers. I hired to do a video. High-end model, and I wanted to do this stuff in Miami, but I was like, I don't have money for this. Call up a modeling agency. I need a girl. I want to do a video shoot. How much for the girl? This girl was absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. For $75, she came for 3 fucking hours. For 3 fucking hours. She
worked.
I didn't even have to pay for a cab. Worked?
Yeah,
would
worked.
do fucking anything. And with a smile on her face, not expecting a tip. Miami, that shit would have cost me $4,500, and the girl wouldn't even said hi to me. So,
and they would have waited for you at the end like this. They would have hit you with, "Hey, it was a pleasure working with you," and they would have hit you with like one of these, just like sliding the hand across. Oh,
exactly.
Oh, that's 20% on top of what I just paid you. My bad.
Yeah, forget it. Miami's a whole other thing. But again, just the culture and the beauty and what makes them like us is it's the hustle, bro. It's the vibe. I'm not going to mention this. I will. There's in Medellin. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, what is their main like business model down there? Like, what is the main thing? Because obviously, it's you think of like drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah, no,
I hate to say it. I don't believe that it's like that, but that's the stigma.
I would tell you what, my experience. First of all, it's a full-blown fucking city. I mean, this is one of the loudest. It's comparable to New York. It's called the City of Eternal Spring. So not only is it the city, the temperature is fucking 75 degrees all year round. Okay, it's in the middle of these mountains. Medellin is just surrounded. No matter where you are, it has this beautiful view of the mountains called the City of Eternal Spring. It is a full-blown city, so they have every commerce there, everything. I believe coffee is their biggest export. I'll tell you what, I had more exposure to drugs and that sort of stigma in Costa Rica, way more than I did than I do in Colombia.
That's reassuring, actually.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, because it's kind of a portal. And again, it could be just exposure where I was. But like I said, I've lived all over Medellin in 2 months. I've been back and forth for years. Same thing with Costa Rica. I've been with a lot of places. But that stigma that they have with Medellin and Colombia, I've experienced that way more in other places. It's because of It's because of Pablo Escobar. It's because of a brief thing in history. And it's not just us. The entire world has generalized Colombia as this cocaine factory.
Let's say it because it fingerprints an entire area.
It's insane. And here you have this culture. It's cheap. These people are. I'm not talking about the girls. Colombian girls are the prettiest girls in the world. I fucking said it. I don't give a shit. Especially not just Colombia, especially Medellin. The prices. I love you.
I'm about to look up.
I love you,
I'm
girls.
about to look up plane prices.
I love you.
Don't make me look.
Message me. I'll hook you up with a great package. Yeah. So I do have a girlfriend there that doesn't speak any English. And it's not a traditional relationship.
So there's really no fights. That's nice.
She's 22 years old. We don't fight, and she gets the fuck out of there when I tell her I want to work. And she loves the fact that I'm so in love with my work. And again, that's not traditional. Oh, Britt, that's crazy. Why is that crazy?
Yeah, who cares?
Why is that crazy? Because she knows I have another girlfriend. Am I a pig? No, I don't think so. This is my life. I'm creating it. So I don't need to be judged. But
you're not hiding things between it. You're just that's what I'm saying. You're just it is what it is. If you don't like it, get out.
One comes my work and my clients. First comes my dog Gwen. Love you, Gwen, and I miss you. There's my dog, and then my other relationships. Why do I have to get married? Why do I have to have kids?
You don't.
The world does not need any more babies. Stop having.
Yes.
Babies.
No.
Please stop.
The world needs more useful babies. Stop making that baby that's cutting me off.
I didn't say that. I said stop having fucking babies. All of you, just stop. Everybody take a fucking year off. Stop this madness.
Year off. I think the population is declining anyway. So
I don't know what the hell's happening. I don't pay attention. When I say I haven't, I'll be in an Airbnb and the girl put on TV. I'm like, I didn't even know there was a TV there. Like, it's not even in my wheelhouse, which is pretty cool because I'm busy living. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there. I'm out there on a bike, walking my dog, figuring life out. So, yes, Medellin, Colombia is the place to be. I absolutely love it. You couldn't pay me to go live in Costa Rica. And no disrespect to the Ticos, but I didn't realize how much I was missing until I got back over to Colombia. And I said, even to come home to New York, I've only been in New York for not about
10 a.m.
I've been here for 8 hours. I don't sleep because I'm busy working, living life. I'm not kidding.
And you're fasting.
I'm fasting. I don't sleep. And I cannot wait to get back there. Like, there's nothing that I want. I'll tell you why I came home. I needed to replace my debit card. Okay. Do a podcast with you, of course.
Hey, now.
Now, here's the fucking thing. No kidding, okay? Some of you know I'm an avid BMX rider, which does not, you look at me, would not think that I ride a fucking BMX. Not only do I ride a BMX, I go fucking ham on this thing. So not only do I draw a lot of attention just being a white, juiced up looking male in Colombia, I'm also on a fucking little mini BMX riding tricks in the middle of the road like a goddamn maniac. So part of the reason for coming home is I also don't have brakes on my my bike, so I use my sneakers. They don't have a size 13 in Medellin, Colombia.
Can we ship them to you, though?
I flew home. Yeah, I don't have an address because I'm always at a different Airbnb. I fucking flew home to get a pair of sneakers and a debit card and get the fuck out of here. Without question.
Well, let us know, man. If you need a hookup next time, we'll ship it to a PO. I don't know if they have PO boxes down there, or we could ship it to a general location.
You know, I like to be self-reliant.
Okay.
I just came in.
We don't mind hooking you up with some shoes.
I appreciate it.
I want you to keep BMXing.
Shout out to Nike. Jordan. Size 13.
Yo, Nike, send the check and the shoes. And the shoes.
Send the check, 12.5.
Would you, I don't know if they do any X Games down there. They might do some like Latin America X Games. How cool would that be?
I live right next to a BMX park, a skate park. I love extreme sports.
Is it bustling down there? Like, is it popular? Because it was for a long time
among
up
the
here,
kids,
and now it's declined.
Among the kids, it's basically me and 14-year-old kids just absolutely going hammer in the street. But it's awesome. Again, people look at me. I get laughed at in my face. They see this little 20-inch BMX bike. I absolutely love it. I don't have to explain that. But anyway, I'm into extreme sports. I love it. I'm cut up. I have cuts everywhere. I don't know how to ride a bicycle like a normal human being. I don't have a medium speed. I just get on there and go fucking hammer. I have no brakes. I have no brakes on my bicycle. That being said, I've worn through all my sneakers using the sneakers on my tires so I don't die in the streets of Colombia on a bike. So if I get killed in Colombia, it's not cartel, it's not cocaine. It's a fucking BMX bicycle. That's what's gonna do me in.
It's not one of your girlfriends.
Here's the best part. No, they love me. They don't love the bike, but here's the best part. So my favorite gym. I don't know if I should say this for my own safety. I'm not going to say where. It happens to be located in the hood in North. There are some dangerous parts of Colombia. Just like there's dangerous parts here. However,
go to Brentwood.
In those dangerous, I didn't say that. Shout out to B Wood.
I said it.
B Wood.
I didn't say it. It's not great.
So it's not. Neither's Robledo. See, I said it. Okay, I go to Body Tech. I love it. So it's the hood. Okay, but there's where the magic is. You find the flowers in the hood. That being said, I don't lock my bike up. So every time I go somewhere, people tell me, "Oh, you gotta lock your bike." Well, first of all, I bought the bicycle for $50. Okay, to buy the bike lock is like $50 too. So it's not even about that. I'm kind of 50-50 where I kind of hope somebody steals it. Not that I don't want my bike, but probably the safest thing for me is if that bike gets stolen and I don't have it anymore. So it's really funny. I leave it unlocked and nobody takes it. You're
gonna upgrade it though, right?
Dude, if you're
gonna get one with brakes.
Dude, we're in Huntington. I'm going to pay somebody to put the brakes on. It's going to cost about $3 fucking. We're in Huntington. If I didn't lock my bike outside here, my bike would be missing right now. Maybe not. But
I would agree in most areas on Long Island.
Maybe not.
I gotta be honest with you, dude. I've left some shit out before, like my trunk open and I'm on the main street, and I just trunk open all night. I come out the next morning, I go, "Yo, what the fuck, dude?" No. What, I lean on the key in my apartment?
But again,
I would normally agree with it because generally that would be the case.
That's fine. But the thing is, again, the stigma was it wouldn't happen. It's Colombia, and it's just this perception of danger, and it's really nuts because it's my favorite place in the world.
So if you want the authentic authentic stay down in Colombia, but you don't want to have to worry about like bad areas. Whatnot.
You don't have to worry about it. There's more bad areas here than there are in Colombia. Don't worry about a fucking thing.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about anything.
Okay.
Listen, any park in the world is scary looking at nighttime.
Without question.
Okay? And just because people don't say hi to you on the street doesn't mean they want to fucking murder you. And you think about it. And I fight this. I finally got to a point in my life where I don't give a shit. And people say that like, oh, cool. Like, no, truly, because for me to survive and do what I'm doing, I can't look for validation. I can't, if somebody doesn't say hi to me, I can't waste any time thinking about why. You walk down the streets in New York City, it's not like everybody's fucking saying hi. Nobody's even looking you in the face. So if I'm walking down the streets of Colombia and I don't even be scared, I'm not going to be scared. Most people are, and most people should be, I suppose. But no, the stigma with this, I'd be more scared speaking English in Brooklyn with where I'm at now than I am not being able to speak good Spanish in the hoods of Medellin. Okay, and that's real shit right there. So
I mean, you've heard there's a lot of you hear the passport bros. You hear that's a buzzword on social media, especially TikTok. Passport bros, guys going. That's okay. Now you're gonna look it up. We just said it, so now the phones are listening. Yeah. It's basically the notion that American women aren't desirable to some extent anymore. Oh, here he goes. He's leaving. Sorry, Mom. American women aren't as desirable anymore for a lot of guys because of just like the narratives that's being pushed on how things should be or how they need to act or this and that. Well, this is what I'm saying. This is coming from what it is, and there are guys finding their wives overseas.
Well, this is you're talking to a person who's been traveling overseas by himself since 18 years old. So yes, I get it. I don't think I've ever had a white girlfriend.
Western women. That's basically.
I like Latina women because of the passion. I find that there's more passion, there's more romance. And should we dig into this?
You can dig into it.
Okay, so after
and listen, I have to make the claim. It's nothing against anybody. It's not that I believe these things. It's just it's a very intriguing fact that guys are finding their wives overseas versus finding them in the States now.
Well, here's a shout out to the white girls right here. I'm not even going to make that comparison, but I do understand it. Once again, I'm going to say I've been traveling by myself to other countries all over the world my entire life, not by accident. If I felt validation dating girls in bars locally, I would do that, but I don't. That being said, so I spent a couple of years in Costa Rica as a single man with no kids, by the way, no ex-wife either. So it's crazy the different like dating cultures in society. So like for myself, and it's kind of weird, but as Americans, we demonize sex traffic. Okay, now most of the world has it. And in a lot of the world, it's legal. So I'm not shouting that at all. It's just
when you say sex traffic, do you mean sex workers?
Prostitution.
Okay.
Prostitution.
See, when I think of sex traffic, I think of people that are just like against their will in doing it.
Oh no! Listen, it's our society. So unless you're honest enough or big enough to do it, so we demonize it. So guys here, if they want to go pay for sex, it's got to be this dirty little thing, some back alley thing. They have to hide it. The rest of the world isn't like that. In fact, it's legal in Colombia. It's legal in a lot of places, or it's not. It's not.
That's why dudes get off the plane in Amsterdam and they run right to the red light district.
Yeah, which Amsterdam is an extremely expensive place to do it. A friend told me. But you want to bang for your buck, you go to Thailand if you're into that thing. Anyway, let's not go completely there with that. But what I'm going to say is dating, not prostitution, but dating. So I would find, like in Costa Rica, again, just cultural things. Yeah, it's a Spanish-speaking country, but it's like calling me a gringo because I'm white. I could be from Switzerland, Canada. It's really crazy. It's like calling a Spanish person a Latino. What the hell does that even mean? So in the dating culture, and I'll use Costa Rica as an example, there was I'd have half the dates I went on, the girls would leave crying halfway through. I'm going to say that one more time, crying halfway through. Not because I'm some barbaric animal, because I'm not. And what would happen is if I wasn't sexually advancing to them within like 20 minutes of a date, I'm saying if I wasn't being sexually aggressive to them, they would get upset, like they didn't have value.
Interesting.
And I'm generalizing, but I can because I've been on like 100 dates. I'm not saying everybody's like this, but my experience with dating in that part of the world, it was like, wait, I want to be romantic. I want to treat you like a lady, a woman. I want to kiss you, and you would think that that's what women want.
The cultural differences.
Not necessarily. No, the girls here, in general, not all of them, but holy shit. Yeah, no, literally, if we weren't having sex within an hour, they were crying like they had no self-worth. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I realized, like, no, that's what they're basing their value on. And now I'm in Colombia. I love Colombian women. So now I'm in Colombia, and they're both Spanish-speaking countries. These are two different worlds. Now I'm in a place where that romance, they're like, oh, yeah, this is fucking amazing. This guy doesn't want to treat me like a a project or like a piece of meat. This guy wants to actually buy me drinks. Now I'm in a place where it's the exact opposite. They love it. So it's just crazy. Like you would think it could be very similar, but we're in two opposite worlds. And it's not a sexual thing. It's just a cultural thing. We're like, now that thing that I think is, I want to treat you like a woman. I want to buy you, I want to kiss. I don't care about sex. I don't need to put my numbers up. I'm 46 years old. I don't mind, but I'm just saying there's other things that I want. I want the attraction. I want that romance. And that's the thing what Colombia brings. And not just the girls, just the culture in general, just that romance, that passion. And it's so on fire. It's so prevalent throughout the whole city. But yeah, even from like a dating perspective, you would think they'd be similar, but they're two completely opposite worlds. So
Siri, book me a flight to Colombia today.
And get Britton's one way. Yeah, I think the next move is marrying for not falsified paperwork, but I think the next move might be marriage for just
citizenship for you down there for Colombia.
Yes.
Is there any way for you to get citizenship without that? Because I don't know how it works.
You got to show financial statements and stuff.
Okay.
There are ways to do it.
We're trying to keep that off.
Yeah, it was. That's okay. So anyway,
yeah, we're trying to keep that off the books.
Shout out to Uncle Sam. Yeah, my whole life's been off the books. To be honest, it still is. And
most trainers are, to be honest with you. So
I'm not a trainer. I'm a game changer.
Well, back in the day,
sounds way better.
Back in the day, you were a trainer.
It sounds way better. Here's the best part about that title. And bro, you want to talk about on fire?
That's gonna be the episode title, by the way.
No, you're going to make it this. We're going to do it in Spanish out of respect for the Pisces. So here's the best part about I put game changer. It's your title. And again, it was a couple months ago, my friends are like, dude, that's ridiculous. I was like, no, but I like it. And that's all that matters. And by you saying it's ridiculous makes me want to do it because that is what I'm doing. And it's way bigger than training. Here's the best part about that. In Spanish, it's Cambiador de Juego, which sounds so sexy.
That means game changer?
Yeah. So when people ask me what my title is in Colombia, these people know how much I love their city. They love me.
Say it again.
Cambiador de Juego.
Cambiador de Juego.
So,
got it.
So, yeah, so much better. It's probably my next tattoo. Just getting that out of the way. No, I'm saying. But it's so funny because, like, here in the culture, like, oh, Britt, that's weird. My own friends, people that love me. Meanwhile, I'm in a culture that knows nothing about what I do. I tell them what I do. They're like, oh, that's fucking awesome. So that's how you know you're in the right place. When everything's just really vibing. There's Uber drivers that have full-blown Spanish conversations. I get out of the car. They're like, wow, you really love it here. I'm like, no, I love it here. Like, I'm home. Like, and what a lot of people don't realize is you never went anywhere else. You don't know the magic that you have. Everywhere you look, you're surrounded by this beautiful mountain. So I'm completely on fire, completely happy. It stemmed from the diet and nutrition. Now I'm selling it and sharing that with other people in my home of Medellin, Colombia. And to come back to New York and sit with you to talk about it, which is so awesome. But then not only that, I'm leaving in 32 hours to go back there, and I can't wait to get back. Like, we did this podcast. I got my debit card, said hi to my mom and my dad. I'm going to get a pair of sneakers. I'm ready to go. And it's such a good thing. It's okay. It's not that I hate it here. I know what's going on here. Yeah. I'm going to drive 40 minutes to go do something. I was going to go to Bez, get a workout in, and I'm like, no. Why? I've done that. I spent years doing that. I love it. Shout out to Bev, Steve. I love it, but why? I've been there, done that. What's going to happen? I'm going to run into people, and they're going to tell me how lucky I am to be alive. No, we're good, dude. Next. I don't owe anybody anything.
On the next chapter.
Next chapter. And the next chapter is right now. And we're going.
Britton, you are an amazing human being.
I really appreciate that, man. Awesome. I really appreciate that.
No, for real, man. And some people, and actually I can't even say some, a lot of people would look at you as just over the top, eccentric, this and that. But no, they would. I mean, and to me, I can understand that to some extent, but I know you. Yeah. I know you personally from the last couple of years. I know you from sitting down second podcast with you. And I've seen the transformation from just a dude that I saw at Bev's as a muscle guy to beach cleanups and trying to be, not trying to be, actually becoming an activist for good. Yeah. Moving to Costa Rica, battling your own demons and everything, and now the next chapter, which is Colombia, and your adventures in helping other people find health, wellness, because there's so many people that will just push a pill or push a program like, here, this is exactly what you got to do. Here's the cookie cutter, blah blah blah, and sit back and they'll wonder why they're miserable. It's like, because you're not actually changing people's lives. You're not making a difference. You actually are.
The cool part is, in what I do, and I don't do any emails, nothing. The cool part about this is, like I said, when I sign up with people, everything's through the phone. The service that I'm offering, it doesn't exist. So these people sign up. They don't realize. There's some people that call me like, wait, is this Britton? I'm like, yeah. I've been telling the shit I'm posting, it's real stuff. Like you're signing up with me. It's a $2.99 package for 5 days. We're talking on the phone. You have me as your private trainer for 5 days, dude. It doesn't exist. So what happens is I'm not giving you this fucking paper. I'm coaching you through the whole process, the pictures, everything.
You're putting a personalized spin on it. Actually,
there's no set program. We got to do what works for you. Everybody's completely different. So not only that, you want to talk about over delivering? You look at the dollar amount. I'm worth what I sell within about an hour. And then I go the next 5 days because I know at that end of that 5-6 days, I know what's going to happen. You're going to feel great, and you're going to want to sign up. That makes me feel good because I've changed your life.
People spend more on bullshit that they don't need and that make them sick. So investing in real stuff.
I'm not going to be able to do this forever. So I kind of been posting up, and people are like, "Yo, I'll give you advice, do this." I'm not trying to make millions of dollars. I don't want 100 clients. I want 5 new ones a week because it makes me feel good. Because of my situation, I don't want $1 million fucking dollars. I want time. My gift is time, and I'm going to keep that. I'm not chasing a bag. I don't need it. But the people that I do have, the special people in my life, I get to right now for this moment. I'm blowing up. I'm on my way, but I'm already happy. It doesn't matter if I died tomorrow. I achieved my dream, bro. I work from a balcony in Colombia on my cell phone by my own rules, and that I'm good. No matter what happens after this, it's perfectly fine. But I'm not going to offer this service forever. That's what's been the cool part about what I'm doing. I've been pushing it. Everyone gives me advice. I don't need advice. I'm trying to share a certain time with you, my transitional period. I'm sharing it with you. Like I'm giving you this thing. So whether you sign or not, it doesn't really matter. But it's really special to me because I know it's not forever, and I've just absolutely been enjoying this whole process. And I want to thank you for having me on, brother.
Dude, for real, you're an amazing soul. I'm looking forward to. I gotta tune into your content. I really do try. I told you when you first sat down. I try to be very selective with the stuff that I'm consuming.
Yeah, be careful.
And because it piles up quick. And if I consume everybody that I know's content, it just becomes like too much for the brain. It's like
a lot of it's the same shit.
It's a lot of the same shit, and it becomes the over, and you don't give your brain a rest. And I think that's where a lot of mental fatigue comes from as well. Digitally detoxing and just being able to step away. But
I noticed you put like a sleeper on your Instagram message.
Yes.
You put a do not disturb, but it's funny. I need to do that with work because I set no limits to myself. So it'll be like 2:00 in the morning and I'll respond to a client. So I actually have to tell myself, don't respond right away, because then you're setting the standard. Then all of a sudden it's going to be this flurry of text all the time and thinking that you could reply right away.
I did that for years. With my clients with the video business. I let them dictate everything about my life. And that's also what got me in some of the steepest battles that I've had to overcome in terms of my weight, my mental health, life in general. There was no work-life balance. I started as a videographer that just wanted to make some cool videos and this and that. And then I got overwhelmed. I took on every client I could. I thought I was a kid, big swinging dick type shit. Like, oh, I got every client and this and that. Yeah. But then it was just, there was no quality of life. It was just, I was sitting in my room, when I was living at home still at my mom's house, my bed and my editing desk was right next to me and all my gear was in the garage and I'd just be there all day and all night. I would shoot all day and I'd edit until 2-3 in the morning, sleep for maybe 2 hours, get up and do it again. And then it started getting like, oh, I got to get a workout in too. It's like, I'm tired of following people around the gym and now I don't feel like working out.
And letting other people dictate your life. And it took time.
Around the clock. If I got a message, if I got a call, if I got anything like that, I'd answer it instantly. That's why I've done a couple of things, and people that listen, they know, and I'll give new listeners just the quick free game that I do now. I set the sleep timer, the do not disturb on my Instagram DMs starting at 8 p.m. and it gets off at 8 a.m. That's it.
Not a bad idea.
Because theoretically, I'd like to be sleeping and in bed by 9:30, 10 latest, so I can just recharge.
That's fighter life. That's a jiu-jitsu stuff.
Yeah, well, because I'm up at 4:45. I'm up at 4:45 every morning. I walk the dog. He needs his seizure pills at 8 a.m. So I go to the gym. I do HIIT class at 6 a.m. Wow. I come back.
Oh, so you're back on full.
Oh yeah, I come back.
Battle mode.
Yeah, I come back. I give him his pill, and now that I moved my office right to my block in Huntington, I appreciate you for real. I come here, I get my work done. Maybe I go to jiu-jitsu at noon. Maybe I go at 6:00 at night. But then between then, I'm working. I'm on time. But once I go to my jiu-jitsu at night, after that, I'll talk to some people, my friends here and there. But then I leave the phone in my living room on my speaker, and I go into my room and I try to detox because I find the more I look at this thing, the more I doom scroll, the more I'm consumed with social media, the more my mental starts going down, and I can't afford that. That's why I don't consume news. I also schedule my notifications. So if there are notifications that I don't think are essential, Instagram DMs are not one of them. Instagram notifications for likes on content are part of this.
Okay.
TikTok too, YouTube, all this stuff, Zillow, because like what the fuck, like I don't need to know the house dropped 2 cents every 10 seconds. So like all these notifications, all you feel in your pocket, I got rid of it. So now 3 times a day, I get scheduled notifications where it gives me a breakdown and it shows me this is what you missed and if you want, if any of it's actually relevant to you. And guess what? Most of the time, I swipe it away. I don't give a fuck. So the ones that I get instantly are calls, texts, and emails. That's it.
That's good.
And that's how I have to keep my life.
But I actually set up, not even being a cool guy, but on my TikTok, I don't follow anybody. So what happens is I open up, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So it's just reactive. So I'm not taking anything in. So it's literally just a work thing. And it's funny how these little strategies can shape the way you're doing stuff. Yeah. I went through a thing on my Instagram. I was looking at all these things, these people I follow. I'm like, wait, why am I following these people that don't even know who the fuck you are?
Number one, they don't engage with you.
Right. Like
they don't engage with you. They don't show you love.
10 years ago.
They don't engage with you.
Right.
And just in general, it's like we're just fluffing each other's numbers.
I don't owe you anything.
Exactly.
And even coming back here, this is so important with people, even your own family. You fucking dictate your future. Do not let your emotions, your feelings, just get rid of it all, dude. It's your life. Go. Right.
Listen, big episode 71 with Britton Kelley. Dude.
My brother.
Love you, bro. I appreciate you.
71.
71.
Pretty awesome.
How can people get in touch with you directly?
Britton Kelley is my name on Instagram. Also, I do everything through WhatsApp. So if you're interested in just chatting it up, want some help, want some coaching, hit the WhatsApp. For those of you who don't know how to use it, it's a free resource all over the world. The United States are the only people who really don't use it. It's +1 516-644-6027. All the other accounts are Britton Kelley. That's just my name. All right, I'm here for you. And, man, take control of your life, bro. Let's go. I
appreciate you. Like I said, big episode 71. Hit that share button. We talked about a lot of great stuff. A lot of amazing information to absorb and re-challenge the thought process and standards that you believe are what they need to be. You know, we challenge them here, and if it's something that you align with, go down that rabbit hole, search it up, look, and don't be afraid to challenge the quote-unquote societal norms for everything in life. You know, be a question asker. Why? Maybe if I try this, and just like you did, you jumped in head first, you tried it out, and it worked for you, and that's amazing.
Don't be afraid to fucking fail. Like I said, I've spent my entire life, it took me 46 years, I've failed at fucking everything, and I am on fire now. I don't even have money, I don't even care. I don't even need it, and that for me is success. So fucking fail, keep failing, something's gonna hit.
Boom. Peace. Episode 71. Subscribe, comment, share. Love y'all. And on that note, peace.
Let's go.